Students, so this is our second session. Okay, as you know, in the first session I have told you about what is letter, what is word, what is sentence, and along with that I told you about the phrases and clauses, and afterwards I told you about what are the parts of sentence, and in the last I told you about the kinds of sentence that is given in your first chapter. Okay, so here, as you can see here, I have taken 5 sentences. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. 5 sentences are here, and these 5 sentences I have taken from the first chapter worksheet. You can match. Okay, so one by one we will discuss, and you will tell me which kind of sentence is this. See here in the first one, New Delhi is the capital of India. I have told you every time sentence start with capital letter. So here, and you can see it is in capital letter only, and I told you that in declarative in the last what will you get? What will? Yes, you will get this full stop. Okay, this full stop you are getting here, so it means that it is interrogative. In interrogative, were we getting full stop in the last? No, it is declarative. One more thing is there, you can see New Delhi is the capital of India. Everyone knows that our country's capital is New Delhi only. It is fact. So it is your declarative. I told if in a sentence you are getting fact or a statement, and if in the last you are getting full stop, then it is your declarative sentence. So first one, it's your declarative. Okay? Declarative sentences is also known as a statement or assertive sentence. Now, second one. Hooray! We have won the match. Okay, hooray! We have won the match. Here, what are you getting? What is this? This mark is your exclamatory mark. Yes, exclamatory mark. And this word hooray, it is showing our feeling. Okay, feeling of excitement that we have won the match. That's why we are feeling so happy. So here this part hooray is showing your inner feeling or emotion, and this feeling is of excitement, and along with that you are getting exclamatory. So if you are getting exclamatory mark, then of course, and if it is showing sudden feeling or emotion, then of course it is your exclamatory sentence. Okay, exclamatory sentence. Here I am not getting enough space to write sentence, so I am only writing SEN. Okay. Now, third one. Who has not heard of Gandhiji? Everyone knows about Mahatma Gandhi, father of our nation. So here you can see who, 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 WH word, remembering? Yes, that is part of interrogative sentences. I told you there are two types of interrogative sentences. First one is yes no type, and the second one is WH type. So here who, WH. Now in the last I told you will get question mark, and yes you can see here it is question mark. So if you are getting WH word or any helping verb in the starting, and if it is ending with if it is ending with question mark, then it is your interrogative sentence. Okay, so third one is your interrogative sentence. No need to write about the whether it is yes no type or WH type. If you want you can write, but if only you are writing interrogative, then also you are correct. Okay. Now, may our parents live long. May our parents live long. It is our wish, it is our desire. We are wishing that please God give us healthy and long life to our parents. So here you can see, as I have told you, if you are getting wish, desire or prayer, so it is the kind of the fifth one that day I have told, that one optative sentence. Okay. So here in this sentence we are wishing, so it is your optative sentence. Okay class? Okay. Now fifth one, please lend me your book. I am asking for your book, that please for only for some time, please give me your book, after that I will return it. Please lend me your book, I am requesting to you. So if any request, command, order, suggestion, advice is making in a sentence, so that sentence is please show request. So this sentence is imperative. Okay? Imperative sentence. Now you can match, you can tally that what I have told, and according to that I have told the right answers or not. You can tally. Okay? Now before moving on second chapter, I want to do some revision with you. That day in first session I told you about what is letter. So letter is the smallest unit of any language. Okay, always remember letter is the smallest unit of any language. Here I am teaching English grammar. That's why I am talking about English. Okay, so letter is the smallest unit of any sentence. Z. This Z is the 26th letter of English alphabet. Because in English alphabet there are 5 vowels, 21 consonants are there. Along there are 26 letters. And this group of letters is known as alphabet. It is in the last, we are getting Z. So Z is the last, or we can say 26th letter of English alphabet. Now word. With the help of letters, we can frame words. Okay, with the help of letters, we can frame words. But it should give us complete meaning or sense. Okay, suppose with Z, I am writing here Z-E-A-L-Z. What is the meaning of this word? This word means happiness. Okay, joy, happiness. So with Z, I made the word zeal and this shows happiness. Okay, understood? Now, afterward, we are coming to a sentence. What is sentence? The main part. Sentence is a group of words. Okay, group of letters is known as word. And if it is giving meaning, then it makes word. And group of words make sentence. But it should give us complete sense. This is the most important condition. If we are getting group of words, but if we are not getting any sense, so it means that is not your sentence. It should give us complete sense along with the group of words. Okay. I am feeling happy. Okay. I told I am feeling happy. So here right now I am feeling so happy. It is group of words. I first word, am second, feeling third, and happy fourth. 4 words you are getting. And yes, of course it is giving sense. So it is your sentence. Okay. Now if suppose you are not getting any complete sense, but you are getting group of words. If I am telling you on the table. Okay. On the table. On is first word, the is second, table is third word. Total 3 words are there on the table. So here you are getting group of words, but you are not getting complete sense. What is there on the table? We don't know. Okay, so on the table is your group of words, but it is not giving us complete sense. That's why it is your phrase. When you are not getting complete sense, then it becomes your phrase, or sometime also it becomes your clauses. Clauses has 2 parts. How many parts? 2 parts. First one is independent clause and the second one is dependent clause. In independent clause, you are getting group of words. Similarly, like phrases and sentence, you will get group of words. But there you will not, in a group of words, that also it can show meaning. So if it is showing complete sense or complete meaning, so it means it is your independent clauses. And independent clauses, we can also say that this is a simple sentence. Okay. Independent clauses, we can say that it is a simple sentence, and independent clauses are the combination of subject plus verb. Subject plus verb combination. Now the other part of clause is dependent clause. Independent clauses show subject plus verb, but in dependent clauses needs independent clauses to complete its meaning. Without independent clause, we cannot complete dependent clause. If I am saying wherever you go, okay, wherever you go, is it giving us complete sense? Before this must be added some sentence, some clause to complete its meaning. So here we are not getting complete sense. So dependent clause we cannot say that yes it is a sentence. But independent clause we can say yes this is a sentence, a simple sentence. Okay. Now after that we have to move on parts of sentence. Now sentence has two parts. I'm talking about parts, not about kinds. Remember this. So sentence has two parts. First one is subject and the other one is predicate. Okay. Subject is the doer of the action. Subject is the doer, the person or the thing who is doing the action. Okay. Suppose I am teaching here. So who is teaching? I. So I is doing. Okay. I am doer of the action. So it means I is subject here. I am teaching. Now rest part you can see here. And in predicate you will get object along with the verb or any other part except subject if you are getting. So except the subject, whatever the parts of the speech are coming in a sentence, all this goes in the predicate only. Now see, New Delhi is the capital of India. The first one, who is doer? Who is the person or who is the thing? New Delhi. So it is your subject and rest part is the capital of India. It is your predicate. Okay class? Because we are talking about New Delhi. So New Delhi is your subject is the capital of India. Rest all the part goes in predicate. Now kinds of, now what is object? The doer of the action is known as subject, whether receiver of the action is known as object. The person or the thing who is doing the work, that is subject, and somebody or something that is receiving the action, that is object. Okay. So now after that, finally we are moving on kinds of sentence. In kinds of sentences, how many kinds I told that day? Yes, I told about 5 kinds. First one is declarative. You can say assertive sentence or you can say statement. In declarative sentence, you will get fact or a statement about anything. And it should, as always, sentence start with capital letter. Okay. And it ends with, in declarative, it ends with full stop only. So, and declarative or assertive or statement has 2 parts. First one is affirmative sentence and the second one is negative sentence. Affirmative sentences shows positivity. Okay. Suppose New Delhi is the capital of India. It is showing positivity. It is fact, so it is affirmative sentence. And whether negative sentences show negation or negativity. I told that day, if you are getting in a sentence the words like no, not, never, neither, nothing, these are the words shows negation. So it is a part of negative sentence. I am saying Mumbai is not the capital of India. Mumbai is not the capital of India. So you are getting the word not. So not shows negative sentence. Okay. Now second part is interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences are used to ask question. If we are asking question, so it is interrogative sentences. There are 2 parts of interrogative sentences. First one is yes no type and the second one is WH type. Yes no type, I am talking about yes no type. Yes no type always start with helping verb or auxiliary verb. Helping verb or auxiliary verb we use to show the tense. Okay, whether the given sentence is in past, present or future. So if you are getting a sentence which is started with helping verb or auxiliary verb and yes it is interrogative, so in the last you will get this question mark. Okay, this question mark if in the last you are getting, so of course it is your interrogative only. Now second is WH part. WH type question, in WH type question you will get WH words just like what, where, when, how. Of course don't forget how is also your WH word. How many, how much, who, whom. If you are getting this kind of words means WH type, and in the last if you are getting this question mark, so it is your WH type. Okay. Now third part is imperative sentences. Imperative sentences shows request, order, command, suggestion and advice. If suppose the example is please help me, I am asking for your help. please help me. Okay, so I am doing request here. I am requesting to you. So here it is your imperative sentence. Listen to me. I said listen to me. I am giving you command. Please, I'm just using listen to me. That it means you have to listen me. What I am teaching here, pay attention here. Okay. So here listen to me is showing command or order. So it is also your imperative sentence. After that, imperative sentences, exclamatory sentences come. Exclamatory sentences shows the feeling or sudden feeling or emotion. And in the last or in the middle to just like this, you can get exclamatory mark. Okay, this mark, exclamatory mark, if you are getting, then it is your exclamatory sentence. And don't forget, you cannot get ever exclamatory sentence that it is showing negativity. Okay, it is always in positive sense. We cannot use exclamatory sentences to show any negation. Always remember. Now after exclamatory sentences, the last one, as I have told you here, this one, if the sentence is showing prayer, wish, desire, then it is your optative sentence. May God bless you. May you live long. Okay. So these words, these sentences are your only optative sentences. These were the part of first session. Now you can see now with this example only I am asking you something. Please tell. And yes, I know you have taken your copy and pen and pencil with you. So please, whatever I am asking, you can underline or you can write only that part in your copy. Okay, it is just like self-assessment. See here. New Delhi is the capital of India. Can you tell me about naming word? In the first sentence, can you tell me about naming word? Which is naming word or which are naming word? Can you tell? In the first sentence only. New Delhi, is it showing any name? Is it name? Yes. So New Delhi is the name. Now capital. Capital, what is capital? Capital is a name. Of course capital is a name. Now third one, of is a name. No. Now India. India is a name. Where we are living? In India, what is the name of our country? I am asking about country. Yes, so India is also a name. So in the first sentence, we have got first, second, third. Three naming words. Now in the second, hooray, we have won the match. Only naming word. Naming word only. Don't find out any other thing. Only naming word. Only naming word. Match. Okay. In the third one, who has not heard of Gandhiji? Whether heard this word is your naming word? Have you ever heard the name? Have you ever listened the name that your friend name is heard? No. So here, and Gandhiji is the name of a person. So Gandhiji is only a naming word here. Now in the fourth one, may our parents live long. Okay. May our parents live long. What is naming word here? Naming word? Yes. Parents only. In the last one, please lend me your book. Please is naming word. Please is the name of a girl. No. Please is the name of a boy. No. Now here, book. Book is the name of a thing. Book is not your name. Okay. But book is the name of a thing. So here, book is a naming word. So finally, you can count. We have got underline whichever the word I have underlined, these are your naming words only. So as I told you about naming words, so I think you understood today what I am going to teach. Parts of speech? Yes, parts of speech. The first one is noun. Okay. Everyone knows that total 8 parts of speech are there, but now one more parts of speech that is added in our course or in English grammar. Ninth one is determiner. In class 6 you got. Yes. So now here I am going to start about naming words, and naming words means it shows only the first parts of the speech, that is your noun. Now see. So I am going to write noun. What is noun? It is so easy. Everyone knows about the definition of noun. Okay. But if you have forgotten, so please don't forget. Noun is a naming word. If we are getting name of a person, name of a thing, or name of an animal, or name of a place. And one more thing is here, if we are getting name of an idea or quality, then it is also your noun only. So noun is the name of a person, an animal, a place, a thing, or an idea or a quality. If we are getting name of anything, anything means name of anything. It can be animal too, it can we are too, it can things too. Means if you are getting any naming word, so it is your noun. Okay. Naming words, in simple word you can say naming words are treated as noun. It shows only name. Okay. Now name of a person. I am giving an example. Name of a person. Shreya. Shreya is the name of a girl. Okay. And second one I am giving Soham. Two examples I have given. Okay. Shreya and Soham. These Shreya is the name of a girl and Soham is the name of a boy. And he was in class 6C. Now, second one. Name of a thing. If we are getting anything, whether it can be ball, bat, any toy or table, chair, pen, pencil. So these are things. These are non-living things. But of course it is the name. So it is a noun. For example, pen and copy. Okay. Third one. Name of an animal. Animal name. Dog, lion, etc. and etc. Name of a place. Place. Gorakhpur. Gorakhpur, and different types of place, whether it is the name of a country, name of a city, name of your locality, you can write. Rapti Nagar I am writing here. Okay. And finally, name of an idea. Means our idea, our quality, our feeling we can use. So here, truth. And the second one is superstition. Here the word is superstition. I think most of you know what is the meaning of this word superstition. It is the belief. Okay. It is the belief that if we are not getting, also if we are not getting any reason why it is so, but also if we are trusting on that. So blind belief, that is called as superstition. Now after that, name of a person, thing, animal, place, idea, all these examples, two examples of each I have given here. Okay. So now after this, noun has divided into two main parts only. It has divided into two main parts only. First one is concrete noun, and the second one is abstract noun. First one is concrete noun and the second one is abstract noun. Only in two parts I have divided. Later on I will tell about each and every part of noun. Briefly I will tell it. So here in concrete noun are the noun which we can see, we can touch or with our five senses. Everyone knows about our five senses. First one is sight, second one is hearing, third one is touch, fourth one is smell and the last one is taste. If we can feel, we can see with the help of our five senses. So it is your concrete noun. Only just remember five senses. If it is coming, then it is your concrete noun. But if you are not able to use your five senses anywhere in the name of anything or any idea or our feelings, so it is your abstract noun. It is just opposite of this part of noun. Okay, we can't use five senses here. Okay, now for example, this is marker. This one is marker, everyone can see. So marker, I can touch it, I can see it, you can too see it, you can not touch it right now, but if you have, you can touch it. Okay, so for marker we can use, we can say that yes, marker is the part of, is a part of concrete noun only. But here in abstract noun, happiness, happiness, we can see happiness. We cannot see happiness, but we can see the feeling of happiness. We can only feel it. So we are not able to use our five senses here. So this abstract noun are those nouns which we can feel or which we can think only. Okay? So happiness is your abstract noun. Now in another way, I am going to tell you about all the different parts of all the different kinds of noun. Kinds of noun. Here, the first one, after that, second, third, fourth, fifth, and this one is sixth. I am writing name and after that I will explain. And all of you please just make this chart too in your copy where you are making your notes. So first one is proper noun. Okay, first kind of noun is proper noun. Now second one is common noun. First one is proper noun, second one is common noun. Third one is material noun. First, second, third. Till three kinds of noun I told you. First one is proper noun, second one is common noun and the third one is material noun. Now fourth one is here. Collective noun. Okay. Now fifth one is here. Abstract noun. Till here I think everyone knows that first one is proper noun, second one is common noun, third one is material, fourth one is collective noun and fifth one is abstract noun. I think you are getting all these kinds of nouns since class first or second. Now two more types of nouns are there. Two more. Except these all two more are there. So here sixth one is our countable noun. Countable noun. And the last one is uncountable. Opposite of countable is uncountable. So you can Learn it. Countable and the opposite of countable, uncountable. Uncountable noun. So this is a chart. Please see this and make the same chart in your copy. You can see. Okay, now we will understand about each and every kinds of noun one by one. Okay. So the first one is proper noun. Now class, I am going to tell you what is proper noun. How can you identify that the given naming word is proper noun? So pay attention. Proper noun is the name of a particular person, particular or individual person, animal or anything. If we are talking about particular means individual. Suppose myself is Sneharika. Okay. So if you call or anybody calls Sneharika, then I will say yes. What happened? What happened? Why are you calling me? Because individually he or she has called me. Okay. So if you are getting particular name of anything or anyone, so it is your proper noun. But it should be particular. For example, and yes, proper noun always start with initial capital letter. Okay. If you are getting proper noun, so you cannot start with a small letter, whether you are getting in the beginning of the sentence or in the middle or in the last. Always, if it is a proper noun, so it should be in capital letter. As I have told you in first live session about God, I told that in the last I told that G should be always capital. So likewise, I am writing. I have written name of a girl. She was in 6A, Alna. You can see here. I have written name of a girl, Alna. So if I say, Alna, listen to me. So only she will pay attention. Because particularly or individually I am taking or I am calling her name. Okay. Now another example is, I am saying, I have a puppy. Her name is Ellie. I am saying I have a puppy. Her name is Ellie. So here puppy means you. It can be happen that you have a puppy. I have a puppy. Many teachers having puppy, but my puppy's name is Ellie. So particularly I am calling about or I am telling about her name here. Okay, so it is your proper noun only and it should be start with capital letter. No issue in a sentence where you are getting this. Now the second one is your second type is common noun. Common noun is unlike a proper noun. Okay, in proper noun you are getting particular or individual or special name which is given to anyone. But in common noun it is not like proper noun. It is unlike a proper noun. In common noun you will get the name. You can use any name, anything which is in general way. Suppose if I am saying, students please pay attention. I am saying students please pay attention. So students means you are a student, your friend is a student, whosoever is listening just now, they are students only. Okay. So here example, students. Suppose in your class 50 or more than 50 children are sitting and I am teaching to all. I asked a question and in a group I told you student give me reply. So you all will start to give me reply. So it is students is your common noun because particularly I am not addressing to anyone. Now after students, class. Same. If I am saying class, give me answer of this question. So in generally I am asking, if you know the answer you will raise your hand. If she knows the answer she will raise your hand. If your friend knows the answer he will raise your hand. Okay. So like this, if we are using anything which is in general way, so it is common noun only. Now after common noun what comes? Third one is material noun. As the name you can see here, material noun. Material is the word which is derived from matter. Okay, so it shows matter only. It shows matter only by which the thing is made up of. Okay, for example, gold is a metal. Simply we can use gold. Iron, even cotton. So if you are getting any kind of metal and from which we can make anything, so that thing is known as material noun. It is so simple. Material noun shows matter. Now the fourth one is your collective noun. Collective noun. Collective noun shows collection. Collection, collective. You can tally these words if you can learn. Everyone knows collection. So with collection, you can make the word collective. It is so easy to learn and to remember what is collective noun. So collective noun shows group of anything. Okay, it shows whether it is a group of person, group of animal, group of things. So if you are getting collection or group of anything, then it is your collective noun. Okay. For example, a gaggle of geese, a pride of lion. A gaggle of geese, a pride of lions. So here this word gaggle, it shows about the group of geese. Means various geese are there. So it is making a group or collection. So it is your collective now. Likewise in the second, a pride of lion. So here you can see a pride of lion. It means it is showing a group of lion. So for the group of lion, we are using the word pride. Okay, so collective noun shows collection of anything. Now after that, fifth one is our abstract noun. Before 10 or 15 minutes, I framed two parts. I made a chart on a whiteboard and I framed two parts. First one I have written here concrete noun, and there I have written abstract noun. That time only too I told you what is abstract noun. So here I am again going to tell you, abstract noun shows the feeling or emotion or idea or quality of anything. Okay, if you are getting any naming word and if it is showing anything, means any idea, quality or feeling, so it is your abstract noun. For example, everyone must have heard honesty is the best policy. We should be honest. Everywhere, every time we should be honest. So the word honesty itself is an abstract noun because we cannot see or we cannot touch honesty, but only we can see the quality. Okay, honesty, bravery, or joy. If you are getting this word, so it is the feeling, it is the we can only feel this. It is our idea, it is our quality. So it is our abstract noun. Now two more, countable and uncountable. Two more parts are left. see here. Countable noun. Countable noun, as the name is showing, countable. Two words are there. First word is count. Second one is able. Two words are here, count plus able, together countable. So if we can count anything, then it is your countable noun. Suppose example, currently in my hand you can see two markers are there. First, 1, 2. Two are there. So you can easily count. So it is your countable noun. Understood? We can count many things. In your locality, how many houses are there? Simply you can count if you want, but don't count. If you want, then easily you can count. It is not a big deal. So houses, example I am writing here. Houses, markers, pens, whatever thing which you can count, that is countable noun. Okay, it can be singular. If it is one, then it is singular. If it is more than one, then it is plural. Now the last one is our uncountable noun. It is last kind of noun, uncountable noun. Now here, in countable, in this word countable, you are getting prefix. Prefix means which is added before the word, and if it is making opposite of the word, then it is called prefix only. So here you are in uncountable, you are getting un, two letters un. Okay, so uncountable noun is just the opposite of countable. I told you earlier. One more time I am telling you. So if the things are there or the persons are there, you cannot count. Okay, if it is not countable or non-countable, then it is uncountable noun. For example, if we want to count the water, like 1 water, 2 water, 3 water, can we count? We cannot count. So water is your uncountable noun. Sugar. Your mother can ask in milk how much sugar do you want? Okay, because you cannot say I want 1 sugar, I want 2 sugar, I want 3 sugar. Instead of that, you can say I want 1 spoon of sugar. So count sugar you cannot to count. So if you can count, that is countable noun. If you cannot count, so this is uncountable noun. Now one thing is there, money. This word money. For living a good life, we must have money. So this is the money. If suppose somebody is asking you what is money, whether it is countable noun or uncountable noun, so what you can say? Countable, uncountable. Use your brain. Money is uncountable. Always remember, money is uncountable noun. But if you are getting money in the form of paise or rupee or dollar, suppose if you are getting money in the form of paise or rupee, then you can count. I have 2 paise, I have 50 paise, I have 500 rupees, I have 5,000 rupees. So you can count paise or rupee or dollar or any other form of money. But if somebody is asking you, can you count money? Then always say no, money is uncountable. But the form of the money, paise, rupee, dollar or anything, that is your countable noun. Difference is this. Okay. Money is uncountable, but paise and rupee countable. Now, first revise all the things. After that, I will give you 2 or 3 sentences. for just choosing which kind of noun you can see there. Kinds of noun I told you about, mainly it is divided into two parts. First one is concrete noun, second one is abstract noun. In concrete noun, if you can see or touch, if you can use your five senses, that is a part of science. Since your childhood you are getting five senses: hearing, sight, taste, smell and touch. So if you can use your five senses, then it is your concrete noun. But if you cannot use your five senses, you can only feel it. Okay, so this is your abstract noun. After, in kinds of noun, as I have told you about all the 7 types one by one, and I told you to make a page, on a page make a graph as I have made here on just like a chart. So the first one is your proper noun. Okay, proper noun always start with capital letter. No issue where you are getting, whether you are getting in the beginning, in the middle or in the last. But if it is a proper noun, it should be start with capital letter only. And proper noun shows the particular name of anything, any place or anywhere or any person. If you are getting particular or individual name, then it is your only proper noun. Now, second one is your common noun. Common noun is unlike a proper noun. Okay, if we are using in a general way name of anything, then it is your common noun. Suppose teacher. Teacher, I am a teacher. Many teachers, those are teaching in your school, or means anywhere. If they are teaching, they are your teacher. Okay, so teachers is a common noun. Students, common noun. Now after proper, common, third is material noun. Material noun shows matter only. Gold, diamond, cotton, plastic. These are your material noun. Fourth one is collective noun. It shows collection or group of anything. Whether it is a group of person, group of things, group of animal. If it is showing any kind of group, then it is your collective noun. For example, a swarm of bees, swarm. Band of musician, band. So if you are getting group, audience is also, so it is your collective noun. Now after that, fifth one is abstract noun. Okay, so abstract noun shows our feeling, quality, idea that we can only express. We cannot touch, we cannot see, but we can feel it only. Just like honesty, happiness, sorrow, these are your only abstract noun. Sixth one is your countable noun. Countable noun, before I told, countable noun which we can count easily. Okay, your houses, your pens, your books, your siblings, your friends, so they are countable noun. Now uncountable noun. Uncountable noun are the things which we cannot count. Okay, sugar, or suppose I cannot count my hair. So what is hair? It is only your uncountable noun. But some persons are there, they have means very few number of hair. We can easily count. They are just what we can count 1, 2, 3, 4 likewise. So in that way it becomes countable. But I cannot count my hair. So here it is uncountable noun. Okay, I think this part is clear. And this money is uncountable, but the form of money, dollar, paise, rupee, these are countable now. Now I am going to give you few sentences. Only just find it which kind of noun you are getting here. An old woman was full of superstition. An old woman was full of superstition. It is the first sentence. Please note down in your copy too. Second. The book was lying on the table. The book was lying on the table. Now the third and the last one is only 3 sentences I am giving today. A swarm of bees was flying high. So here 3 sentences are I have written. First one, an old woman was full of superstition. Second one, the book was lying on the table. And the third and the last is a swarm of bees was flying high. So in this sentence, just find out which kind of noun you are getting. Different types of noun. Before I taught you. So you can find out. Okay, so let's begin and please match it with me. I know you can do it. It is so easy. Here, an old woman. What is your noun? N is your article. Old is adjective. What is woman here? Woman is your noun. Okay. Adjective tells about the quality of noun or pronoun. So it is telling how is the woman? The woman is old. So old is your adjective. Woman is your noun. Was full of superstition. Now any other noun are you getting? Was? No. Full? No. Of? No. Only one word is left, that is superstition. I told about entire feeling which we cannot see or touch. Yes. So now see here, an old woman was full of superstition. 2 nouns we got in this sentence. In the first sentence, first word is woman and the second noun is superstition. What kind of noun is woman? Woman is particular name. Have you heard that the name of that lady is woman? I never. Yes. Woman is your, when it is not particular, it is not used individually, then it is the kind, which kind? Common noun. So woman is your common noun. Now the second word which we have got here as a noun, superstition, as I told, blind belief or feeling. So it is abstract noun. If feeling is there, then this is your abstract noun. Okay, so in the first sentence, I think it is clear. If you have written right answers that the woman is common noun, superstition, abstract noun, then very good. You can give yourself 2 marks. Okay, from my side you can give. Now the book was lying on the table. In the second, the is your article. Book, I have given the example of common noun or name of a thing. Yes, so book we are getting first. Was lying. Lying is your action words are known as verb. On the table. Table is a, what is table? It is a name of a thing. It means it is noun only. So table. Again we have got 2 words in second one. Book and table. So book. It can be book of English 1, English 2, Hindi 1, Hindi 2, mathematics, history, civics, geography. So book is your common noun because particularly it is not mentioned here which subject or which publication or what is the name of the book is there. Only book is mentioned here, so book is your common noun. Now table. It can be big table, it can be your study table, it can be your center table, different kind of table, dining table, dressing table. It is not mentioned here. So table is also your common noun. Book and table both are in the second is common noun. Now third is a swarm of bees was flying high. Swarm of bees. Swarm is showing collection or group. So here swarm is your noun. Of bees, it is just together. We can use or you if you want to identify it alone, then bees you know very well common was flying high. So here a swarm of bees, that is your collective noun because together bees are flying and when they are together flying they are making a group, and if it is a group it shows collection. That's why swarm is collective noun. Okay, so Finally, in 3 sentences, if you have written all the correct answer by yourself, then you can easily give yourself 1 mark, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you are right, you can give yourself 5 out of 5. Okay, well done if you are right. So it was about today's session. Now, as a homework, please learn different kinds of noun. Along with you have to frame 2 examples of each kinds of noun by your own. Okay, so this was our today's session. Now it is going to be end soon. So now in third session we will meet, and in third session too I will teach about noun, because in noun you will get numbers, gender, and different kinds of things. Cases are there, most important thing, cases are there. You need to know about all these things. Okay, so in the third session again we will start this part only, the noun part only. Till then, stay happy. Thank you class. Thank you so much.